Hello there, John Hall from Right Here Pens, and today we're going to have a look at Esterbrook. It's a revived brand which was very big in the United States in the 19th and certainly first half of the 20th century. Now been revived, brought back to life, and they've got some really nice looking pens. So we'll start the story somewhere else actually. Right then, so why, you might well ask, are we starting this video with a map of the southwest part of England, and I'm particularly interested in Cornwall, right at the end here, because this is where Richard Esterbrook, who founded the company in the mid-19th century, came from. He moved over to the United States and started a pen factory in New Jersey. And so here we go, this is the rather nice Esterbrook box actually, not too fussy, nicely covered in material, linen-y stuff. It probably isn't linen, I'm not an expert on that sort of thing, but a very nice looking box, and in it we will see that it is America's original reborn. And although it's America's original, I wouldn't dispute that at all. I would like to remind people that Mr. Esterbrook did actually come from Cornwall. And I believe he opened his factory in a town called Camden in New Jersey. Well, I remember Camden Lock and Camden Market when I was a young man in London. Camden is quite a common name actually around London, and also New Jersey. So there we go. So we'll have a look at the first pen, and my goodness me, that has got so much to recommend it, it's hard to know where to start. It's a lovely lilac resin that certainly catches the light very pleasingly. The design is extremely marvellously unfussy, and again, I really like this. It's also pretty clear that we're not looking at a small pen here, it's a biggie, and this is the larger size, the oversize Estie, and that's what they're calling this particular range of pens at the moment. Now this is the oversize, and I'm going to show you the normal size beside it. There we go. So one thing that leaps out is that neither of these, in my view, are particularly small pens. This is a sort of on the civilised end of large. There we go. I personally don't think I would feel the need to post this. That's sitting quite comfortably there. There we are. So we're really looking at sort of big-ish and significantly bigger. There we go. Right, so that again sits fairly comfortably. Quite a bit, I mean, it's amazing with pens, isn't it? I mean, in terms of inches or centimetres, there's probably not a huge amount in it. But in the hand, this does feel large, but comfortable. I wouldn't quibble with this at all. So I think we're going to get rid of the map nonsense and so forth and take a rather closer look at both of these pens. So toodaloo for a moment. Right then, so here we are, still life with pens. There we go. So this is ebony, and this is the standard Estie. And let's take a look. So it's got gold appointments, this one. Other appointments are available. You might have noticed just a little click there, because we have a sprung cap. Absolutely brilliant at keeping the nib nice and wet as long as the cap's on. So you shouldn't have too much problem with hard starts with this pen. Well, certainly first thing in the morning, if the nib's not properly adjusted, you could get hard starts at any time. So let's have a little look inside. As I've said before, there's very, very little decoration on this pen. It's almost Japanese in its simplicity. So we open it up and we see, well, the hallmarks of decent quality here. So we've got metal to metal in here. So we've got a metal connector here, which looks nice and robust. We've got a jolly good converter here. Is it or isn't it? No, it's not. No screw thread. So it's a pushing converter, but a good firm fit there. And in a sense, there's not a lot to say, apart from the fact it's a really nice looking pen. The nib is coloured gold, although it is in fact a steel nib, but a nice quality one, as we may see in a minute. Who knows? Who knows? So that's the ebony pen. Need to give it a bit of a push to get the threads of the cap seated. So here we are. The only embellishment is that Esterbrook there, really. So as we open up, we see again a resin section, and again, ooh, what am I doing here? Yes, that's right. Now, what's different? Let's have a look here. Because I'll tell you what, this has really thrown me. So, we have quite a difference here actually. So, with the normal size pen, we have the screw thread in the actual barrel of the pen. There we go, in the resin. Can you see that? I hope so. And that's what joins the pen together. There we are. And you've also got a metal band around there. Now that presumably is to strengthen the connecting area, because that's where most of the stress will be. Whereas with the oversized version, there we go, we have a metal connector, but also we have a metal screw thread in here, connecting the pen up completely. So we've got, yeah, a very different sort of setup here actually, and this probably, I was a little bit surprised at the difference in price. I don't think I am anymore, because I think I can see where that additional cost has come in. So let's just pop that down, clean that up. There we go, and we'll do this one up as well. So, very simple pens, slight difference in the way that they're constructed, in that the Oversize is metal to metal, whereas this, for the barrel joining onto the section, it's actually resin to metal. There we go. But, as you'll see, both nice looking pens. So what we're going to do now is try and write with them. And we have a notebook here, and we have a bottle, my last bottle of Omas ink. Dear, what a treat. Here we go. Now these are actually new notebooks that we're interested in, of which more later, but they're called Endless and they feature Tomo River paper. So there's posh. Right then. This nib is, there was a time I could read these so easily. It's a Braun actually. Oh, wow. It's extremely smooth. Mind you, Tomo River is pretty smooth paper, but that's really a very nice nib. I've enjoyed that. That's quite enjoyable. Now, I think it is meant to be the same nib on this pen. Let's have a look. This is extra fine. There we go. Well, you're never going to find an extra fine nib being quite as smooth as a broad nib. But actually there's nothing much more going on here than you'd expect with an extra fine nib, which is putting far less onto the paper. And it's not going to glide in quite the same way, but I've got to say, if you like an extra fine nib, this is an extra fine nib. And it is very pleasant to use again. So we've gone from extra fine to broad. They also do a stub. So there's plenty of variation in line width available from these pens. And I've got to say, they have much to commend them. So we have the Esterbrook Estie and the Esterbrook Estie Oversize. One day I'll have a look at the Slim as well and see how that compares. But for the time being, two excellent pens here. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe and hit the little bell thing so that you're reminded when we issue new videos. John Hall from right here. Cheerio.